Alright, question number 2, but this one's going to be just like the problem on the first page. So if you need help on this one, feel free to rewatch the first video. For this one, I'm also going to ask you the questions before I show you kind of some steps of how to do it. So this will be a little bit more difficult, but you guys can do it. I've got no problem with that. So number 2, the relationship between hours of sleep recommended and age is given in the table below. Question A, use the data from the table below to create the scatter plot. So we need to plot all those points. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can do this a little bit easier. So first one we are plotting is point 1, 15. There we go. And 2, 14.5. 3, 13. 4, 12.5. You guys can probably actually plot these faster than I can. 5, 11. 6, 11. 7, 10.5. 8, 10.5. 9, 9.5. And at 10, 9.5 as well. Alright, and then the next thing we need to do is draw the line of best fit. Once again, we're going to pick two dots that we think make the best line of fit. I'm going to pick this point right here, which is 7, 10.5. I'm going to make that purple and a little bit bigger. And I'm going to use the 3, 13 as well. And I'm going to make that my line of best fit here. Let's draw that. Perfect. So we now have our data. We've answered question A. We've used the data to create the scatter plot. For B, we've drawn the line of best fit. So the next part we have to do is we have to write the equation. Once again, I used the points 3, 13, and I used 7, 10.5. If you're following along with this one, please use the same points, otherwise your answers are going to be different. If you're doing it on a test or homework or something like that, it's okay if your answers are different, your answer is still correct, but as far as instruction-wise, it would make more sense if you guys match up with mine. Alright, so the first point we have to do, the first step to do to write the equation, which is what we're doing now, is to find the slope. So what is the slope going to be? First thing we're going to do for that one is draw the box. We've got our x, we've got our y. 3 and 13 is my first point I used, and then 7, 10.5. So my change of y is going to be negative 2.5. My change of x is going to be plus 4. Alright, so my slope then is going to be my change of y over my change of x. Negative 2.5 over 4. And when I put that into a calculator, just so I can get a nice decimal answer, it's going to be negative 0.625. So I'll round to 2 decimals and say that is negative 0.63. Negative 0.63. Alright, and then the next part is we have to find what our y-intercept is. So, go ahead and let me know what is the y-intercept going to be. Right, for the y-intercept, we'll change colors here. We'll change to orange. We're going to use the equation y equals mx plus b. And we're going to plug in what we know so that we can find out what b is. We have to use a point. I'm going to use the first point, so I'm going to use 13 and I'm going to use 3. We know what our slope is. Our slope is negative 0.63. My x, remember we're using 0.3 comma 13, so x is going to be 3, and then plus b. Order of operations says the first thing I do is I multiply, so negative 0.63 times 3 is going to be negative 1.89. And then I've got to add add 1.89 to both sides. And I get 14.89 is equal to b. So that is going to be my b value. And don't forget my slope right up here. Alright, so then the last thing I need to do is I just need to write the equation. So go ahead and let me know what the equation is. It's going to be y equals my m, which is negative 0.63, x, and then plus my b value, which is 14.89. So y equals negative 0.63x plus 14.89. Alright, question C. It says interpret the meaning of the slope in the context of the problem. Why don't we actually do a third video for this one? So go ahead and start the third video after this one.